Good morning, and welcome to the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. With the always evolving world of cyber threats and defense, you need a source you can trust. FBI retired Special Agent Darren Mott guides you through today's intricate cyber landscape and brings you the latest headlines and insights and what it means to you. Let's dive into today's cyber news.
Good morning, friends. It is Monday, July 22nd, 2024, the Monday after Patchpocalypse. This is the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. I'm your host, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent and author of the book, Get Cyber Smart, a user-friendly guide to protecting your family, your business, and yourself online, Darren Mott. So I thank you, as always, for downloading and listening to the podcast and passing the information you may learn to others. I only have 5 articles to really talk about this morning because the whole weekend was covered with CrowdStrike stuff. I mean, it was an interesting event. I was on 3 different news stations, not even in my town I live in over Friday to kind of talk about this. So I'm not going to rehash the issue because we all know, basically you should know about it now, right? There was a patch pushed out and it caused Windows machines to crash. It's very bad. The problem obviously with this is that if you want to fix it, you have to do it manually. And so it's going to take a long time, probably at least a week for this to really be fully recovered. But what I want to focus on is 2 articles that came out over the weekend that are interesting because of the threat caused by this particular event. So you can say, well, the threat was I couldn't get on my airplane and all those kind of things. I couldn't make a payment, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But there's actually bigger threats here at play because bad guys figure out ways to take things that are well known or going on in the world and exploit them. So this first article is from cybernews.com, Stephanie Schappert reporting, CrowdStrike outage turns playground for threat actors. As more systems come back online in the wake of Friday's worldwide CrowdStrike IT outage, experts say for many industries, such as airlines, healthcare, and banking, the process will be lengthy and create a slew of unforeseen security challenges. CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz, we know there's a software bug, well, we know all that stuff, right? Created a blue screen of death, yada, yada, yada. So let me go down here. They talk about this as a lengthy process. Obviously, the article here will be in the show notes if you want to read it, but some of this is rehashing what we already know. So here's a section that has a highlighted headline that says regulators and security experts warn to be vigilant. According to the U.S. Cybersecurity and Security Infrastructure Agency, or CISA, threat actors have already been observed taking advantage of the CrowdStrike incident for phishing and other malicious activity, it said in a warning advisory released on Friday. CISA urges organizations and individuals to remain vigilant and only follow instructions from legitimate sources, the agency said, reminding organizations and their employees to avoid clicking on phishing emails or suspicious links. Now, part of that, how do you know if it's phishing? Hopefully, you're training your employees to be able to recognize it. But I guarantee you, bad guys will win at this because they always do, because someone always clicks a link. Meantime, as recovery efforts take center stage, financial regulators in New York warn banks and trust companies to be on high alert because of the outage, reminding all regulated entities to be vigilant at this time, because obviously the bad guys are going to try to target those entities that have the money. Quote, threat actors have been known to launch attacks during periods when IT and security staff are distracted, especially through social engineering, unquote, the New York State Department of Financial Services said in a statement. The agency, which oversees more than 3,000 financial institutions across New York State, said it would be working with other state and federal regulators to monitor institutions and market events. While everyone is distracted by other issues, organizations face increased vulnerability as threat actors invariably try to exploit the situation, says Itzhak Alvis, CEO and co-founder of Entro Security. And all of that is absolutely right. During emergencies, as seen on Friday due to the CrowdStrike incident, people may neglect security best practices, becoming vulnerable to social engineering. Alvis said the company should be on the lookout for various scams, such as bad actors impersonating IT staff or phishing emails referencing the outage that would offer urgent updates or disguise malicious software as legitimate security tools. And these are all the things you have to inform your employees of. If they get this as, hey, this is, Joe from IT, here's how to fix your computer, download this file, it'll do whatever, blah, 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 right? So you have to be aware of this. And we're going to see tons of stories. This is going to be an ongoing situation for quite a while. I'll tell you who's happy is the company, I forget their name, but who did Move It, because it's going to overtake Move It from that particular perspective. All right, more on this, a little bit, in a similar idea. Bleepingcomputer.com, Ionit Elascu reporting fake CrowdStrike updates target companies with malware data wipers. So we're already starting to see this. This is from Sunday, June 21st. Threat actors are exploiting the massive business disruption from CrowdStrike's glitchy update on Friday to target companies with data wipers and remote access tools. As businesses are looking for assistance to fix affected Windows hosts, researchers and government agencies have spotted an increase in phishing emails trying to take advantage of the situation. In an update on Sunday, CrowdStrike said that it's actively assisting customers impacted by the recent content update that crashed millions of Windows hosts worldwide. The company is advising customers to verify that they communicate with legitimate representatives through official channels, since adversaries and bad actors will try to exploit events like this. Now, one thing to note, if you're a home user and you get anything about this, ignore it. This does not impact home users because it's unlikely any home user is using Falcon from CrowdStrike to do any kind of network monitor or endpoint detection on their home system. So that's kind of an ideal thing. I don't see anybody saying that, but really need to tell people at home it's not going to impact you. So don't, it's going to impact you third-party wise. In other words, if you're trying to get on a flight and your flight's canceled because of this, that impacts you, but it's not going to impact your home network. So if you're at home and you get something saying, hey, this can fix your CrowdStrike issue, do not click on it, absolutely. The UK National Cybersecurity Center also warned that it observed an increase in phishing messages aimed to take advantage of the outage. On Saturday, July 20th, AnnieRun reported that malicious actors had started to exploit the CrowdStrike incident to deliver hijack loader, which dropped the Rimco's remote access tool on infected systems. To trick victims into installing the malware, the threat actor disguised the hijack loader payload in a WinRAR archive, promising to deliver a hotfix from CrowdStrike. In another warning, AnnieRun announced that attackers were also distributing a data wiper under the pretense of delivering an update from CrowdStrike. So this is the thing. If you're a business owner, make sure. If you get an update from CrowdStrike, verify it 3 ways to Sunday if you can, simply because it's bad. Worse things will happen if you download or you open a malicious tool, obviously. All right. Off of that, CybersScoop.com, Christian Vasquez reporting. This is more from the good news file. Treasury sanctions Russian hackers that breached U.S. water utilities. The Russian hacktivists had been linked to the state-sponsored Sandworm group. The leaders of a Russian nationalist hacktivist group were sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department on Friday over a January incident that caused overflowing water storage tanks in multiple counties in Texas. Yulia Vladimirovna Pankratov and another guy, I'm not even trying to pronounce this, are the leader and primary hackers, respectively, of the Cyber Army of Russia Reborn, or CAR, C-A-R-R, according to the Treasury Department. The hacktivist group is known for exaggerating claims and unsophisticated cyber attacks against critical infrastructure in the U.S. and Europe, but they have been linked to the Russian main intelligence director, a military unit dubbed by Mandiant as Sandstorm, which is best known for successfully hacking into Ukraine's power grid and the hack of the 2018 Winter Olympics. Brian Nelson, Undersecretary of the Treasury for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, said in a statement that the targets of U.S. critical infrastructure by CAR and its members represent an unacceptable threat to our citizens and our communities with potentially dangerous consequences. So what exactly did they do here? There's more information on what they allege that they did. Let's talk about what the sanction is. Sanctions have become a common reflex from the Biden administration following hacks on critical infrastructure. The Treasury Department in November sanctioned the Cyber Avengers, a fake hacktivist persona run by the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Cyber Electronic Command, for defacing several programmable logic computers made by the Israeli manufacturer that were located in water facilities, blah, blah, blah. So basically, there's 2 guys in Russia that got sanctioned. Okay. It's a good news file, but it's so what? What really happens? It's nothing. But politicians can pound their chest that they're doing something. Does this mean that these 2 individuals from CAR are going to suddenly stop because sanctions from the U.S. are on them? No, they will not. But you got to do something. And this is kind of, in the cyber world, kind of the only thing really in your quiver that you can hope to put in your bow to take a shot at something. So, it is what it is. We're going to see more of this going forward because, like I said, that's kind of something, the only thing you can really do. All right, from the bad news file, Pierluigi Paganini reporting for SecurityAffairs.com. Metasecure data breach impacted 12.9 million individuals. Personal and health information of 12.9 million individuals was exposed in a ransomware attack on Australian digital prescription service provider Metasecure. Metasecure is a company that provides digital health solutions, particularly focusing on secure electronic prescription delivery services in Australia. In May, the company was forced to shut down its website and phone lines following a cyber attack, but did not mention a ransomware attack, as most companies do not. Threat actors gained access to the personal and health information of an undisclosed number of individuals. Now we know it's 12.9 million people. So the only reason I bring this up, because I'm in the U.S. and this doesn't impact me or people I know necessarily. But the point is, if you are in the medical services department, or sector, you do prescription stuff, you're probably using similar type of software that this company is using. And what would be fantastic is if Metasecure would come out and said, here's how it happened to us. Because then companies that do have similar software or similar architecture can protect themselves so they don't become a victim. It's a matter of time, just a matter of time, before we will see this happening in other countries, US, UK, wherever. Obviously, we've already seen it, right, with Change Healthcare or United Healthcare and things like that. But again, more is coming. The medical infrastructure area is highly insecure, and bad guys will continue to target it because they know they will get money from it. InfoSecurityMagazine.com is the last article for today. This is more of the more you know kind of thing. U.S. data breach victim numbers surge 1,170% annually. That is, what is that? Like 220 times? I forget. It's a lot. Let's just say it's a lot. The number of U.S. data breaches in quarter 2 of 2024 increased annually by over 1,000%. Despite a 12% decrease in the actual number of incidents in those 3 months, according to the Identity Theft Resource Center. The nonprofit compiled the figures for its H1 2024 data breach analysis from publicly monitored breaches in the U.S. It claimed the quarter 2 increase in victim numbers was due to the impact of a small number of large breaches and impacted organizations like Prudential Financial and Infosys McCamish Systems, revising victim counts up from tens of thousands to millions of customers. Through the first half of the year, the ITRC tracked 1,571 data compromises. That's a lot in a 6-month period, putting the first half of 2024 14% higher than the first half of 2023, which became a record for data breaches. But this is always the case. Every year, it gets worse. Yet we spend more money on it. We talk more about it because the bad guys continue to win. The number of data breach victims in the first 6 months of 2024, 1,078,987,742, increased 490% compared to the first half of 2023, which was only 182,645,409. However, the estimate didn't include the Change Healthcare supply chain attack, which it's believed will impact a significant number of U.S. victims. I think. ITRC president and CEO Eva Velasquez argued that many of the trends that emerged in 2023 are continuing this year. They continue every year. It's always the same. This is not be a surprise. Quote, in some cases, such as the number of organizations impacted by supply chain attacks and the number of entities that did not list the root cause of the breach, the trends accelerated for the first half of the year. Well, I can tell you right now, Eva, it's going to accelerate through the second half of the year as well. I will go on record right now as saying that, and we can revisit this in December, and I will say, yes, I believe I said something like that in July, and here we are. Again, so this is more of the more you know kind of thing. So figure out ways, find your crown jewels. If you have PII or PHI, personally identifiable information or protected health information, you need to protect it. You need to figure out how to secure it so that if someone gets in your system, it's hard for them to find. Now, the problem is most bad guys are getting in with compromised credentials. So even if you encrypt the data, they're still able to get to it simply because they are able to decrypt it because they have the admin account. So you have to look at that. And there's so many things you have to do to protect yourself, that again, ask for help. If you don't know how to do it, find someone who's willing to talk to you about it. I am willing to talk to any company that wants to contact me. I'll give them an hour free of consulting to say, here's the things you need to start thinking about doing. But again, I say this and no one almost ever takes me up on it. I will say one guy on LinkedIn did take me up, and I'm going to talk to him hopefully this coming week. With that, I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your Monday because I'm running out of time anyway. Know that knowledge is protection. If we can understand the threats of targeting us, we can assess our risk, proceed wisely. Thanks again for listening. We will be back again on Wednesday because I'm pretty sure the cyber security and cybercrime issue will not solve itself in the next 24 hours. Have a great day.
Cyber Smart Morning News is written and produced by Cyber Guy Productions. Feel free to email thoughts, comments, or suggestions to Darren at thecyberguy.com or follow Darren on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/DarrettMott. Thanks for listening.